In our last video, I gave a quick overview of some hardware options for self-hosting servers, but today I'll explain what you should consider for your next home server. Starting with the smallest of the bunch, today's market offers plenty of options in the form of terminals, NUCs, single-board computers, or even enterprise-grade servers. They're all pretty similar, but have some pros and cons. We'll compare them against each other and show their strengths and weaknesses. First up are single-board computers, with the Raspberry Pi being the most famous example. These are complete computers on a single piece of printed circuit board. The big draw? They're tiny, efficient, and a great starting point if you already have one lying around. However, what they offer in compactness, they lack in power and expandability. Limited I/O means you might need adapters if you want to expand storage or add peripherals. Plus, you'll likely need extra accessories like cases, power supplies, or cooling solutions. A top-tier Raspberry Pi 5 with 8GB of RAM will set you back around $80. Next up are my personal favorites, second-hand terminal PCs or thin clients. If you ever worked in a place like a hospital or a school, you've probably used one before. These are small form-factor computers designed mostly for remote access to more powerful systems. The cool thing is, they're budget-friendly, and if you pick the right one, capable of running a wide range of self-hosted services. Great options like Fujitsu Futura S940, Dell Wyse 5070, or HP T620 Plus can be found on eBay for as little as $60. But beware, some of them are quite limited when it comes to expanding memory or storage. Then we have Mini PCs and NUCs. Again, these are full-fledged computers, just in a smaller package. They're a bit more expensive, but pack in a lot of performance for the extra cost. Intel's N100-based systems are a solid choice at around $200, offering good performance, decent I/O, and low power consumption. Some users report around 6.8 watts on average. There are also beefier mini PCs with AMD processors and mobile GPUs, but the price ramps up accordingly. The main downside? Limited expansion. Most come with just a single SSD slot and swappable laptop format memory, with no PCIe options for further upgrades. For maximum flexibility, there's always the custom-built PC route. Whether you're building a compact system or a full-size tower, you can tailor it to your needs. If your goal is to run a handful of services and maybe a game server or two, a mid-range CPU like AMD's Ryzen 5 or Intel's equivalent should keep you covered for a good while. If you're hosting more demanding games, like a heavily modded Minecraft or Satisfactory, aim for at least 32GB of RAM. The sky's the limit here. You can go all out with a high-end CPU, extra GPUs for transcoding, and loads of RAM, or you can focus on building a budget-friendly, energy-efficient setup. Just be prepared for a bit more research if you choose to go custom. An honorable mention goes to enterprise-grade servers. According to a 2023 self-hosting survey, nearly 500 out of 1,900 respondents are running their self-hosted setups on enterprise gear. These are typically rack-mounted servers with powerful CPUs, loud fans, and high-speed networking. While they're noisy, power-hungry, and can be expensive, they offer unmatched performance and expansion possibilities. And to give you an idea of what these setups look like in action, let's hop on a call with my colleague Alex, who, believe it or not, runs a server out of his kitchen. Hey Alex, mind giving us a tour?
Yes, of course. Before I give you a tour, let me introduce myself. My name is Alexander, and I'm a Java developer at NordVPN. And when I can no longer debug drivers and on my virtual machines, meaning I need to resort to hardware debugging, I usually get myself a bunch of old desktops at the end of the procurement cycle. But sometimes even external machines are not enough. So if I need to simulate networks, or if I need to simulate hammering of an API, I just put myself, again at the end of the procurement cycle, a bunch of servers. Now I've got a Proxmox cluster in my kitchen. So if once upon a time you buy servers off eBay and they smell of chicken soup, they were probably mine. I just pulled one of those beauties out of my rack. As you see, it's an old Dell R630. Let's open it up. So, 2 Xeons, 16 cores, each from the Broadwell era generation, standard 256GB of RAM. Here you see in the middle 3.2 terabyte Samsung PM725B SSD over PCI Express, and they're about a small network card that's just 40 gigabit, because 1 gigabit or 10 gigabit, well, my grandma has 1 gigabit.
Well, that's a lot of power for a home self-hosted home lab server.
Just one of a couple. So sometimes, you know, we do serious things at NordVPN. Sometimes I need to collaborate on those machines with my colleagues. Obviously, I don't have a public IP address because it's like my home. I decided to put Meshnet onto one of the servers on the head node. And so my colleague can kind of VPN into my kitchen and use my servers together with me.
Okay, so for debugging purposes, you've got your home lab server with enterprise gear, right? And you use Meshnet as a way of letting people take advantage of all the processing power your home lab server has, right?
Yes, and that's basically VPN without having a VPN into my own network.
Thanks, Alex. Okay. Lastly, there are pre-built NAS solutions from companies like QNAP, Synology, and even Ugreen. These are ready-to-go home servers, perfect for file management and backups. However, they tend to be underpowered for anything beyond basic tasks and don't offer much room for upgrades apart from storage. Still, if all you need is a simple file storage, they could be a good option. Now, I'm a fan of diving right in with a Linux-based system for your home server, but let's be real, command lines and permissions can be a headache if you're not into that sort of thing. The good news is that running a self-hosted server on Windows is also an option, especially if you're using second-hand hardware or building your own. For Linux newbies, I recommend starting with a Debian-based distro like Mint, Ubuntu, or even straight up Debian. CasaOS is another great tool. It's an open source platform that lets you install self-hosted services with just a few clicks. If you want a more server-centric approach, look into Unraid, TrueNAS, or Proxmox, especially if you're planning on heavy virtualization. Also, keep an eye out for HexOS, a new system based on TrueNAS backed by the founder of Linux Tech Tips. And for those of you who think different, you can host your services on macOS-based devices. The Apple Silicon Mac Mini seems to be the best choice currently. Whatever OS you choose, NordVPN supports most of them, so you can secure your server or access it remotely with Meshnet. Beyond just VPN protection, NordVPN is designed to prioritize your privacy and security. With Threat Protection Pro, you're shielded from trackers, ads, and malware, enhancing your safety online. And for Linux users, we recently launched a dedicated app that includes easy access to threat protection and kill switch, ensuring a more secure and private browsing experience. NordVPN helps keep your personal data private whether you're on a public Wi-Fi or connecting from your home network, making your digital life safer and more secure. Finally, no self-hosting setup would be complete without Docker or Podman. Think of your server as a big box. Docker and Podman help you organize everything inside the box by adding virtual dividers that are called containers. These containers let you run apps in partial isolation from the rest of your system, keeping things neat and easy to manage. Want to go a step further? A KVM-QEMU combo allows you to run full virtual machines, basically smaller boxes inside your big box, so you can separate and manage your environments even more effectively. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to drop a like and subscribe for our upcoming video where we build a home server from scratch.